Welcome to another episode of BestowCast. We're here with our semi-fixed camera angles, and I gotta keep looking away to... Hi, Riley! Yay! You don't have to scrunch down anymore. Yay! Okay, show's over. Good night. Today we're gonna talk about some free comic books. This weekend was Free Comic Book Day. This weekend was Doctor Strange 2. Mm-hmm. It was Free Comic Book Day. Now, Doctor Strange 2 is the Multiverse of Madness, MOM, on Mother's Day weekend. Do you think that was on purpose?
It was absolutely on purpose.
Anyway, don't be mad, but I drug my own sorry ass to Free Comic Book Day.
It's okay. Just don't get your spit on me.
Well, I might have got you my spit on whatever I grabbed you. So the store I went to was a 3 comic book limit, and there was a 4th comic book where I was like, oh, Riley would like that comic book, but then I was selfish and I only picked for myself. So I picked up that.
Ooh.
That.
Ooh.
And that. I don't know why I couldn't give up the 3 Stooges and got the the Riley book, but okay. If people are able to, please chat in our comment section wherever the hell you're listening to the show, and let us know what you got for Free Comic Book Day. But I did go to another store, and they had the 1 comic book that I was allowed. You were allowed 1 comic book, and that was it. So I was like, oh, the comic book I want to get Riley is here, and it's 1 comic book. And then I made my purchase, and they're like, sir, we don't do bags here. You're going to have to buy a cloth bag. And I'm like, a cloth bag for my comic book? Nah, I don't want to spend $5 on my free comic book. It was raining out. I'm standing at the door going. I stuffed it in my jacket. So this is Riley's free comic book. A receipt.
Woo! The receipt. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Stranger Things.
Are you excited for season 4?
Yes.
Even though it's what, 8 episodes?
I think it's shorter, but
it's shorter. But the other thing I saw that they were splitting the season in half. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that means that it's 8 episodes and then 8 episodes, or if it's 4 episodes and then 4 episodes for 8 total. I don't know what that is. Mm-hmm. Or I do know that they said it was a shorter season, but then Netflix is kind of having issues.
Yeah.
And a lot of the theories and stuff. I read where they said the problem is like they drop everything all at once. Yeah. And I guess theoretically or mathematically or whatever, like shows that are come on like HBO Max or Disney Plus that are spread over time, that are actually like a weekly, when you come in weekly, do better than that. And I guess it boils down to a psychological thing where you feel more, what's the word? You feel more rewarded when it's spread out over time versus binging all at once, which is kind of interesting. I think it's a film theory, good old Matt Pat. So check out Matt Pat. We will, but he has the theory. It's actually kind of an interesting theory on how all that works. Where the reason why, because like if you were to watch like 1 episode of Stranger Things and you had a week, you have all that time to build up expectation in your head of like, oh, well, what happened? What's going to happen? Is this going to happen? Is this thing going to happen? Versus where it's like you just sit down and watch it all in 8 hours and you pretty much have it all. Yeah. As far as the internet goes, binge sucks. Although weekly sucks too, because I don't watch the Disney shows weekly. I binge them. I don't necessarily binge them all in their entirety, but I'll wait for like half of Boba Fett, and then I'll watch that half, and then I'll wait for the later half and watch the later half. But that just means that I'm dodging freaking spoilers on the internet constantly. Yeah. I think the only thing that I've ever came in weekly was the only thing I watched weekly was the Mandalorian, and Hawkeye. I think were the only things that I watched on a weekly basis. But what about you? What are your binge habits? Let's get you talking into this joint.
I also do the thing where I just don't tune in weekly, and instead I just wait until it's all out and then watch it all. Otherwise, I just won't watch it at all.
I have a tendency, so Moon Knight is the only thing that I haven't watched yet. And I think Moon Knight finale was like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I still haven't, now I want to watch it. I mean, it's not, Moon Knight as far as like all the Marvel characters isn't really up there. So it's not like high priority for me. It was kind of like the same with Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's like, I like those characters, but it's not like, I don't know. Let's see here. What if WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier is kind of like the hierarchy, and even though all those things came out at separate times, but it's just that I'm like the Captain America universe wasn't really my favorite universe in the comics. I like what they're doing in the films, but so it kind of sometimes boils down to that kind of stuff. And I want to comment real quick. So Creative Guy TV first of all says hello, hi, welcome to the podcast. You are now immortalized in our podcast. Thanks.
Yay.
That person says they did that to Resident Alien also. They split the season in half. They don't understand why. And then Moon Knight was fun, but it was too short of a season. Was that? So I didn't check out Moon Knight yet. I just had already said that, but I will eventually. Maybe right after we're done with this. No, we got some more troubleshooting with tomorrow's feed. So probably will be maybe this weekend I'll get to the darn thing. But yeah, that's it. There's more free. Well, not free. These are the frees. These are the frees. And I have a horrible habit of never reading anything. So these will go with my other stacks of free comic book day stuff that I always pick up and never read. But I was actually curious. I'm actually curious about Three Stooges, only because this topic comes up on the podcast, on not this podcast, but on the Sleepless Knights podcast quite frequently. So I was kind of curious to see what they did with this kind of thing. And Lobo and I have been talking about going to the Stoogerium, which is a Three Stooges museum that is like really close by to us. Like it's in the state. I'm like, really? Why aren't we there?
Yeah.
So we're discussing. Here's some behind the scenes stuff, but we were kind of tossing around the idea of maybe doing a Stoogerium Tour 3000 to go with our Trauma Tour 5000. So it'd be Stoogium Tour 5000 to go with the other thing I just mentioned. But curious about that one. I'll probably just look through and look at the pictures. Of course, Star Wars and Timothy. They actually have the fifth turtle in the back.
Isn't the fifth turtle a girl?
The fifth turtle is a girl.
That's pretty cool.
The fifth turtle is not right there. She is. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. I was reading in the terms and conditions that we're not allowed to show like pages from books and stuff because it's copyrighted content. But this is free comic book day. But yeah, that's her right there. And again, I've fallen out of habit of reading, but I do read like behind the scenes stuff. Or I'm also following. I also follow Kevin Eastman, and the thing with her is she's actually not a turtle originally. She's actually a human who becomes a turtle. So there's that thing.
Pretty swaggy.
I could spoil it, but I don't know. I don't know if I should. I mean, we just discussed, are we allowed to spoil Doctor Strange? I guess we have to sit on Doctor Strange for another week, just in case. Just in case.
Gotta wait for more people.
But go see it.
Yeah.
God damn it, see it.
It was good. It was real good.
These weren't free. I bought these. So. Been on a G.I. Joe kick. I think I used to own this one. And I don't think I own that one at all.
It's your spit bag out of here.
Spit bag. But I think I used to own these 2 books.
Just
And I got
for someone to mow their lawn.
Oh, I think that's just a loaf. I think that's a motorcycle.
Or maybe.
No, you know if somebody's mowing their lawn. I got this one in Cobra Commander to put together. So we did this on the YouTubes where I brought out all the vintage G.I. Joes that I picked up that I was hoping to do during a live stream, doing a repair and rebuild. In version 3 Cobra Commander, Space Cobra Commander is one of them. Most of them that I picked up were things that I never had or were beyond. I mean, I think I've shared this story before. I don't know if I shared it on this podcast, but all my G.I. Joes and all my G.I. Joe comics went to a kid who was in need of that stuff. So I was like, you know, I'm an adult now. I'm in high school, and I gave him all the comics and all the toys and stuff. Would never change that decision ever.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back.
So in Brave and Bold, I did Batman. I drew him realistically. I drew him with a cape that flowed instead of that log that Carmine kept on drawing behind Batman. It kind of looks like a log. Drawing more realistically, it seems to me, since Batman is the only superhero in comics that doesn't have any superpowers,
makes sense.
Probably ought to be drawn realistically, and the show was over. So I did Brave and Bold.
You can catch the rest of this interview on youtube.com/Bestow TV. They're in Tron. What's happening? Oh, we're back.
Oh.
So we gotta do our free comic book day. Well, we did our free comic book day, but then now it ends up turning into a haul video, which I know this isn't our haul day. This is our podcast day. But when have I ever followed the rules? Really? I got one more thing, and then somebody in our chat wanted us to yak some more about some stuff. So let's get this out from our overhead camera and bring this in. This is another haul. So I got this with the Stranger Things comic. So.
Wow.
They're nice.
Interesting.
Starlord orbs. Orbies. I got a bunch of orbs down there. I kind of like them. I left the Rocket Raccoon. I thought I had the Rocket Raccoon. I came here and I'm like, this Rocket Raccoon is orange. The one they had there was wearing blue and had pistols. And I'm like, shit. I'm going to be making a trip back for a Rocket Raccoon one of these days. You get comic books on the day. You get an unboxing on the day. Get out of here. You don't get to unbox my toy.
Whatever.
Don't touch my toy.
I was going to help you hold
Your
it.
eyes are making my toy dirty. Stop it. Stop looking at me. Oh, he comes out. I did not know that. I thought he was a part of the ship. Am I taking everything out of frame? I'm like,
Oh, you just knocked him over.
I'm like pulling a Riley here by
Shut up.
like crap on a cracker. Come on.
I think it just...
Did I throw away the piece that has the instructions? I guess. There it goes. Crack! And he goes in there. I tried to point him up to face him to the camera. And there we go. We did a little Starlord. I am hooked on a feeling. I am believing.
You're done.
It's like, I think there's a magnet in here. There must be a magnet in his butt or something, because he actually, there's a little bit of a...
Am I allowed to touch him
Yeah,
now?
you can touch him now.
Wow. It does feel like there's a magnet.
Yeah, there might be a magnet. It doesn't work it's not that strong of a magnet, apparently, because when you turn him sideways...
I think his head's too big.
It looks like, and I think my orbs are, well, I'm showing to the camera that But he actually has swivel to his head. I don't think my other orbs have swivels. I should have grabbed the other orbs and brought them in as examples. But.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, Stan Lee's not here on the table.
I knew something was missing.
Oh, no!
They've been here.
They've been here the entire
they're
time. They
blind.
were hiding. They were just sitting. They were running the camera.
Yeah.
Look, he's actually white. He's not all blown out this week.
Oh.
Sorry. So now they can all hang out. There.
There you go.
His backpack fell off. Had a new friend. Is that new? Last week was Stan Lee and his amazing Meagle friends.
Well, now Snake Eyes needs something to sit
Yeah.
on.
But he's not Amigo, so he doesn't apply. Maybe this is the crossover guest orbs appearance. Or I guess it's Dorbs, isn't it? Dorbs.
Dwarves.
Is it Dorbs or D? Is that supposed to be an I? D-I-R-B? I thought it was no. I thought it was supposed to be Dorbs. Yeah, that's the Rocket Raccoon right there. There's the Rocket Raccoon, and there's a Groot. There's a different Groot. I don't have that Groot either. My God.
I need them.
These things kind of.
I want to see.
Yeah, you can see. These guys kind of want belly up. Are these NECA figures? No. These guys, well, these three are Mego, and this guy is a Dorbs. He's a Dorbs.
Also, High Lane.
Reading this out of the chat, okay, guys? Clear my throat. All right. Hey there, true believers. Watch Bestow TV. Nuff said. Excelsior. Stan Lee. Okay, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. Sorry. He didn't say that. Take 3. Ready? Okay, he didn't really say that, but he should have. Rawr. We went off the rails somewhere. There's going to be a lot of glitch marks and error codes and. All right, so back on track. So all right. Focus.
I'm fine. You do your thing.
So one of our viewers asked, they wanted to know our first convention and what we did at that first convention and stuff. And let me go back to our live camera because I know my convention is different than your convention because my convention I was alive and your convention I was still alive, but you weren't alive during my convention. You were unborn during my convention. Who goes first?
You go first.
Do we? Hold on. Now let me try to think back that far. So back in the Stone Age. My first convention, I want to say my first convention was a sci-fi convention because they weren't, the comic books weren't really mainstream enough at that time. They weren't made into movies or anything else. It was not necessarily good to be a geek. However, for sci-fi conventions, it was good to be a nerd. And so my first convention was a sci-fi convention because that's when they started reissuing like Star Trek on VHS. Next Generation started becoming popular and stuff. It's weird, I'm not really much of a Star Trek fan. I mean, I appreciate Star Trek. I can watch an episode and stuff, but I wasn't a huge fan. At that time, I was super getting into Star Wars. I kind of rediscovered Star Wars. Had rented the VHS tapes and I'm like, oh, I kind of remember these. Oh, I had toys of these. And we started going to sci-fi conventions. So my first convention was a sci-fi convention at the Adams Mark Hotel, which I don't think it's Adams Mark anymore, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Pretty swaggy.
There. What was your first convention?
I don't know.
I guess technically you were at that convention.
Oh no!
Wildcat keeps wanting to come into my mind. And I think there might have been some stuff before Wildcat, but I want to say like Wildcat Comic-Con might have been your first. Maybe Philadelphia, Wizard World Philadelphia. I mean, I know we can say the Wizard World Philadelphia, you guys had a event at Wizard World Philadelphia.
An event.
You guys did your first cosplay.
God.
And Eric the Smoke Moran like blew you guys up and had everybody cheering for you guys, and good old Firestar and Raven. Mm-hmm. Now who was who? We got it. So you know, if you
Kyra was Raven.
Yeah, if you guys watch, well, Kyra's been on the podcast as well. So Kyra's been Raven, and you were Firestar. Starfire. Did I say Firestar the whole time? From like SpiderMan and his amazing friends. So if you listen to Sleepless Knights podcast, I always go through this whole spiel of how Renee would have you pronounce his name. And I held fast to how he says his name on the Sleepless Knights podcast until a fan says, "Here's a clip of Renee saying his last name." And I had it all like flip-flopped. I was not pronouncing it right the whole time. So we kind of make fun of me. We make fun of me of saying it wrong, but it's, all right, now I got myself confused because now I have both names in there. Renee, I think I say Renee Augenbert, but I think it's Aubergenois is how it is actually pronounced. He used to like make the whole crowd like stop down and say his name together. It was fun. I think we saw Renee Augenbert or Aubergenois, whichever version you want to go with. We saw, I don't know if that was I can't think of the guy's name, but he was on Voyager. And we saw William Shatner in Leonard Nimoy.
Pretty cool.
Do you remember who you first saw?
Nope. I have no idea.
There's a picture of him over there.
Oh my God, wait.
I don't know if that's the first person that you ever met, but you guys gave me hell for that picture. I got in a lot of trouble because I met this guy.
Yep.
I met this guy. I think I met this guy like the year before at New York Comic Con. You guys read me the riot act. There's everybody meeting Stan Lee. You guys got like the full like Stan Lee treatment that day because you got the picture with Stan Lee, the photo ops with Stan Lee. You both got autographs from Stan Lee. Was that the trip that we met Stan Lee on he was on the roof as well? Mm-hmm. I think that was because that was Baltimore, and that was when we went. You could take the Skyway, the Sky Path or whatever, mm-hmm. and we went to go get lunch, and he was on his way back, and I went up to shake his hand, and the handler got in between. He was like, "Oh, this is Stanley, you can't get near him, Stanley." And Stanley's like, "No, he's a fan." He pushed the guy away. He says, "I'll do anything for a fan," and he shook my hand and stuff. But I'm pretty sure that you guys were with because Kyra recalls that. I know you have faulty memory, but
I got memory loss.
So yeah, that was something you guys got to do, and I wanted to throw this thing. So we're kind of low on time, but I wanted to do a quick shout out for this because these guys just recently passed away.
Hide that.
But this is one thing. This is a print from Neal Adams with an original sketch from Neal Adams. I wanted Neal Adams, so I had this book here that I was collecting sketches, and I wanted Neal Adams to do a sketch in the book. And it's like, you know, I was kind of looking stuff over, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll just save up and maybe I'll nab it by the end of the year. And when I got to the end of the year, it was New York Comic Con, and all of his prices were like doubled at New York Comic Con. So this was the only thing I could actually go for. But that is a piece that I grabbed from Neal Adams. And of course, if you watch Creative Continuities, or Bestow TV's Creative Continuity, we interview Neal Adams rather. We've interviewed Stan Lee as well on Creative Continuity. Another artist that we lost this week in another piece that I got, and this is when we went to, well, you guys weren't with, so this was the infancy of Creative Continuity, which was like my flagship show on my Yoo-Hoo tubes. And that was the trip where I and Tommy interviewed Stan Lee. It was one of those things where it's like, I never thought in a million years we would interview Stan Lee, but we interviewed Stan Lee. And while we were there, George Perez was also there. Now, George Perez just recently passed this past weekend. He didn't want to do an interview, but he did do a sketch for me. So I do have a George Perez original Wolverine. First piece of art in this book. Both great guys. I mean, I don't know how much praise I can give these guys, but they will be missed. Thank you, Creative Guy TV, for the questions. Thanks for participation. Thanks for everybody showing up in our chat and on the live stream. That has been another episode of BestowCast. I talk too much. Riley doesn't talk enough. Maybe I need to start puppeting her and make her talk some more. But thanks for joining, and hopefully I answered all your questions. See ya!